Welcome to my 1 year long experiment. It is week number 3. It is January 20th, and I have been so excited to record this. It's been crazy. I just want to, from the basic, I have been getting up every day, at or before 6. However, I did not get up one day. I stayed in bed until 7, and I'll explain why soon. But in the meantime, another thing that I've been talking about is I wanted to finish this book. It's called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I wanted to finish this book by the end of this month. I think I'm on track. This week, I wanted to take my commitment to the next level and kind of just like add to it. And so I decided to incorporate working out and meditation into my routine. It's been a little bit interesting because the meditation is an hour long. So it's kind of a mental game of like trying to stay awake. But I want to say that I think it's been working. So let me back up a little bit. Every day I get up, I also journal. And so I did this one journal I want to show you because I think it's cool. I did this journal. And in this, I have a little A with some squiggly lines around it. The squiggly lines represent a coherent brain, coherent frequency. Everything's in order, everything's aligning. So, and then the A stands for abundance. On the left side of the A, I wrote my intentions, and then on the right side of the A, I wrote like elevated emotions associated with that. I learned that from my book. I'll show you what it looks like in the book. It looks like this. There's different letters that you can use that the book recommends. You can either do really any letter that means anything to you, but a couple examples is you could do R, it would mean a new relationship. J would be a new job. P is a problem being solved in your life. M is a mystical experience. G is a genius mind. H is for your health. A is abundance, and O is for a new opportunity. So you can do that. And then on the next page, it shows very similar to what I just showed you. It has the letter in the middle with your intentions on the, on the left side, and then your elevated emotions on the right side. So a couple examples of your intentions, he recommends to either write 4 or 5. So this example was, this person was wanting to manifest a new job. So they put J in the middle, and it says, the intentions around the new job is they want to work anywhere in the world, make the same amount of money, if not more. They want contracts for 6 months to a year, love what they do, and be their own boss and lead their own team. That was their intentions. And then the elevated emotions associated with that was empowered, in love with life, free, grateful. So I'm learning a few things in this book, so I decided just to apply it one day. And I also went to his website and downloaded a meditation like I was telling you. It's an hour-long meditation, so I don't know that I recommend it for a lot of people, maybe not even to myself, because it's it's something I'm definitely gonna have to work towards. It's an hour long of mental fortitude. Jesus, I am exhausted during these meditations a lot of the time. But there are points in the meditation. The meditation is so long that I do find myself eventually going inward. And so you saw the A in my journal. It's really exciting because as I was doing this meditation, I did start to see abundance happening this week. So one example was I got a random check for, or it hasn't come in yet, but I got a letter in the mail saying that it was going to come. And it's basically a 300 plus, it's like almost $310 check each month starting back in November. So from November, December, and then January, it'll be about $900 something. That's random. I did not work for any of that money. And it's not like a reimbursement or a credit or anything. And so I think that that's insane. I think that that's awesome. It has to do with like insurance and stuff like that, but I just thought that that was like, what the heck? That's awesome. That's cool. Another thing that happened was yesterday I returned a router back to Xfinity, and it said that they owed me like almost $90, and so I was like, again, I did not do anything for this money, and honestly I never even paid a cent to them. I tried it out, didn't really care too much about it, and I returned back the router, and then what, I get $90? Okay, whatever. So I didn't question it. I was just like, okay, thank you, I appreciate that, we'll see. But anyway, so those are like random things that happened this week. Another thing that happened this week was I got promoted. This is not in this promotion wasn't random. I have been working towards it, but my fiance made a mistake and took my phone with him to work, and that day my boss had messaged me and asked what I wanted my salary to be, and I didn't obviously have an opportunity to message him back, so I never got to until later on that evening, and he told me that he had went ahead and submitted my salary for me, and that it would be nice and maybe something that he thinks it'd be something that I'd really like. So I'm really excited about that. I feel really, it's just funny. It's funny. A lot of things have been happening this week that I feel really grateful for and really proud of. I do think that I am manifesting abundance for sure. I also think that's something about doing this. Getting up every day starts my day with intention, starts my day off with wanting something different for my life, starts my day off with wanting change and creating that change. And having that in the back of my mind every morning when I get up, I think is really helping literally change my life. So I think it's kind of cool to see these things like slowly unfolding. I like it. I'm pretty proud of that. Another thing that happened this week, so I want to talk about this book very quickly, because I'm going to reference it. In this book, it talks about in order to change your life and in order to create a new life for yourself, you have to get out of your familiar future. Most people have a familiar future because most people don't live their life with intention. A familiar future is created from your past knowledge, your past self, everything that you've learned up until this point. It's going to recreate the same thing over and over again because you haven't learned or done anything differently. For example, if you were to get up in the morning, brush your teeth, take your shower, head to work, get off work, make dinner, take the same route home when you get off work, make dinner, sit down, watch TV, go to bed, repeat. There's literally no room in your life for something new to even happen to you. How, where? For one, you're living your life unconsciously because you're so familiar with where your toothbrush is at. You're so familiar with what temperature you like your water to be whenever you take your shower. You're so familiar with the route that you take whenever you go to work. You're so familiar with all these things that you don't even have to think about them anymore. And so when you do get to work and you're talking to these same coworkers that you talk to 5 days a week and you are having the same conversations, you have the same emotions around these things, you are unconscious for almost 90-95% of your day. And then when something does happen, for instance, say that you get in traffic or somebody, cuts you off somebody cuts you off on your way to work, now that's interrupted your unconscious routine. So now that's pissed you off. Or you got the wrong meal for lunch. The Uber driver or Uber Eats person came and brought you your meal and it's the wrong meal. So when something does change, it's disrupted to you and to your life, and if anything, it's just as annoying. So for you to want to create a different life and want to live in a new life, you have to be okay with change. You have to be okay with things being different. And so as I'm understanding these concepts in this book, I was talking to my partner, I am actively looking for everything in my life to change, so that I can open the door for new opportunities, open the door for me to run into somebody for a different opportunity, or open the door for me to stumble upon a different source of happiness, or just something different in general. And so that's why I decided to go to yoga. I wanted to break my routine in every which way. I've broken my morning routine, and so I've wanted to break my evening routine as well. So I decided to sign up for Core Power Yoga, and I went to a hot yoga for the first time after having Aaliyah. So in almost 10 months, I went to this yoga class, and it was insanely hot. When I went, I was so excited. It was so snowy, it was so cold, but I was determined to go. So I get there. Before I had even left to go to hot yoga, I couldn't find my yoga mat. All the things were happening, so I said, that's okay. When I get there, I'll just buy a yoga mat. Fuck it. You know, we're committing. We want to work out anyway, so let's do this thing. So when I get there, I decide, all right, I'm going to buy a yoga mat. She tells me I don't need to buy one. I could just, you know, grab one that I could use from the company, and I could just rent it for the day. I get into this hot yoga, and holy motherfucking shit. Hot yoga is not about the workout. It is solely mental. I was dripping in sweat after just 10 minutes. And so I told myself, maybe slow down during the flow and just embrace each moment, take my time, all the things. So I'm in there for 5 more minutes, and then I start to feel nauseated. So I sit down, I drink a little bit too much water. I had a nice gulp of water, and I guess it was too much. And then I get nauseated, and after about 20 minutes, I had to leave the room. So I leave the room, and I immediately start feeling something weird going on with my body. And so I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I'm literally talking to myself at this point, like, are you okay? Are we going back in here? My body keeps telling me I do not want to do this, and I couldn't figure out why, but I was telling myself, nope, we're doing this. We're committed. We're fucking doing this. I go back in there. The same thing happens about 10 minutes later. I leave it again. At this point, I'm embarrassed because in hot yoga, when you open the door, you're obviously letting in all the cool air. And while some people may have been relieved by it, I think other people, it could have been messing up with other people's meditation. So I was very embarrassed to be leaving the room every time I needed to leave the room. I go back in after the second time. And the third time, we're doing some sort of like back bend something. So I'm standing up straight, and I'm like leaning back, looking at the back wall, and I thought I was going to pass out. It starts flickering black. So I leave the room again one last time, and I just look at myself, and I was like, is everything okay? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And I know something's wrong, but we'll figure it out after this class. But we're finishing this fucking class. I go back in for the third time, and we finished that class, and I was super proud of myself. And I go home, and I'm really feeling like something's wrong with my body. I'm really feeling some sort of like sickness, some sort of something. And my family does have a cold, but this felt different. So the next day, I decide, you know what, let's not be so intense physically. Let's incorporate meditation. So I decide to meditate for an hour long. That was beautiful, all the things. I do think it's a mental exercise. So I would say after about 20 minutes, I started to battle staying awake, being comfortable. Now my body's uncomfortable. So now it really is about mastering the body and telling the body, no, sit, no, don't open your eyes, no, this is what we're doing. And really trying to keep my body in check, and not, you know, my body keeps telling me, oh, we're hungry. No, you're not. Relax. We'll feed you in a second. You know, I kept having to have these conversations with my body. And ultimately it was really, really hard. So anyways, I go to work, and I continue to sort of feel weird. And then I go home, and it turns out I am fucking pregnant. What the fuck? And I'm announcing it on this video before I even tell anybody, because honestly my last video got 10 views, and I think 8 of them were me, but that's fine, you know. So I was like, you know what, this is a safe space. It's okay. But yeah, I'm pregnant, and so that hence why one day this week I decided to sleep in until 7 in the morning. When I found out, I was kind of, I don't know, but I had this feeling before I had even got pregnant. Me and my fiance had a dream 2 days prior that I was pregnant, and we just kind of brushed it off because we had no reason to think that I was. And then when I found out that I felt this sense of calmness, which we don't have any family here. Daycare is okay, now we're spending almost $2,000-3,000 a month in daycare, I guess. I mean, I don't even know what we're doing there. And we don't have family here. It's just me and him. And we already have one, you know, so it was kind of odd that I felt so calm. But what makes it more odd is I felt like I did feel connected to myself and like supported in a way, and like, this is what we're doing. So I started thinking to myself, like, how am I supposed to do this 1 year long experiment of commitment and be fucking pregnant? It kind of felt like a test. If you watch my first video, I committed to a year of this, and I really had to sit with myself and figure out what a commitment looks like being fucking pregnant. In my first pregnancy, I got extremely sick, and I had to have my daughter early. And so I feel really scared that I will get sick again during this pregnancy. And I don't, like, even doing this video now, I feel lightheaded and all the things, and so it makes me really nervous that I'm gonna fail. And it's kind of funny because even before I found out I was pregnant, I started thinking, like, a year's a long time to commit yourself to, like, you know, something, like a long time, you know, and the first quarter is supposed to be easiest, and it doesn't seem that easy. And this is supposed to be the easiest because this is where I'm gonna have the most enthusiasm. So I felt really nervous that I made something hard even harder. But I do feel committed. I think commitment's just gonna look a little bit different. I don't think it has to stop because I'm pregnant. I think it's gonna have to be a more of a mental game than it's gonna have to be physical, and that's okay. I think this commitment, you know, I'm still capable of reading this book. I'm still able to meditate. I'm still able to get up in the morning. Maybe, we'll see. I know this morning I got up, and actually, now that I think about it, I guess I've messed up twice. I got up this morning on time, but I just went to sleep, and I don't know. I don't want to let myself down. Today, January 20th, I've been going on 20 days of waking up with intention to change my life. And even if I fell short, just to wake up with that intention and that to be the first thing on my mind, I think is incredible. And maybe that's the secret to this whole thing. I kind of laugh a little bit to myself because I started thinking, is this a challenge? Should I try to challenge this and create something for myself by the time I end with maternity leave so I don't have to go back to my job? I don't know if we should count on that, but it would be fun to challenge this whole process, you know, in that way. I also, another thing that I did this week that's really cool is, as you know, we are going to be an inspirational speaker someday. So one thing that's important is to work towards that specific goal as well. So I bought a audiobook. Since I'm reading this book, I decided to buy an audiobook to listen to. It is called, I decided to buy an audiobook to listen to Talk Like TED, the 9 public speaking secrets of the world's top minds. I decided to listen to that during work, and I think that that's awesome. I really do feel like I'm maximizing my day. Efficiently getting up in the morning, journaling, reading, meditating, and then once I do start my day, spending my time with my family, and then when I go to work, I'm listening to this, making sure that, you know, the ultimate goal is to be a speaker, an inspirational speaker. So in order to do that, maybe I should learn a little bit about inspirational speaking. We are doing that too. It's so funny to me because when I was looking at my channel, I was like, man, my first video I think has like 25 views right now. My second video has like 10 views. And it makes me laugh because it's like, why should people care about my videos? And then I started thinking, nobody cares about your videos. They're only going to care whenever something cool happens, or like whenever you actually meet your goal. And I think that that's kind of cool too, because it's like, I feel like I do think it's important that I share this because there's so many people that I admire that I see at their peak in their career. They've been working towards this shit for years. And so I think that it's important. Not only is it something I want to look back on, but I think it's something that can really help people, you know, whenever I get where I want to be at in 3-5 years from now, maybe before. I don't know. I do think this 1-year commitment is the catalyst for that though. So I am excited for that. Surprise, we are pregnant and we are not giving up. So what this week is going to look like is, this weekend specifically, I've got to read a lot of this book so I can make sure that I finish it by the end of this month. So commitments looking like finishing this book. These meditations are an hour long. An hour long. So I think something that sounds realistic to me is 2 meditations a week, but to push myself, I think that we should do 3. So we'll do 3. We'll commit to 3 meditations this week. We'll get up early every morning and journal at the least and read. And then if I need to take a nap, I'll take a nap afterwards, but at least do that. So we'll do that. And yeah, meditate for now. I do want to start incorporating walking. Like I said, I got extremely sick in my last pregnancy. That didn't even allow me to stand on my own long enough to take a shower or brush my teeth. So physical stuff, even walking, could be maybe not in my cards. So one thing that I can control though is what I eat. So maybe instead of walking, I really just stay conscious and aware of what I'm intaking and putting in my body. So eating healthy, reading this book, 3 meditations this week. That's commitment. That's how we're going to commit this week. And then getting up early and obviously posting this video. So yeah. If you're watching me this early on in my journey, I think that's awesome. I think that's really cool. If you're that one viewer that's been watching me, kudos to you. You know, come along with me on this crazy adventure. You could be watching who knows what I'll be, you know? I'm excited. I'd watch my journey. I think I'm cool. You know, I believe in myself. So, also, I just want to say the psychology behind actively documenting your life. Can we take a moment and realize what that could really do for your life if you were documenting each week? That accountability, that self-accountability that you're giving yourself to live intentionally. Okay. I might be onto something. You're welcome. So anyways, if you watch this video, I really appreciate you. If you're watching this video a year, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, I really appreciate you watching this video. I think that this is an important milestone in my life, and I love just sharing it, honestly. So thank you. See ya.